Those Blue Jays, 4 games ago, the Blue Jays embarked on a stretch that Blue Jay fans did not think they would see. Because the previous 4 were some of the most pathetic and painful losses of the season. The final 2 against the Cleveland Guardians and the first 2 against the Angels were just pathetic. The offense no good, you're blowing leads because your bullpen is dead tired. It is just awful, awful baseball. Then they score some runs against the Angels after going down 4-0. Or 4 or 5-0, one of the two. And then win 8-5 against the Angels in the finale to salvage that game. Then they travel to Seattle to take on the Mariners, a team who has won 8 or 9 consecutive series, first place in the division, going into play were they 22-14. They were 8-2 in their last 10, playing great ball. And the Blue Jays go in there and win 6-3, scoring 5 runs off Luis Castillo. They win 6-3 yesterday, coming from behind down 3-0. And today, they dog walk Bryce Miller and the Mariners to win 9-1 and sweep these guys away. The Dirty Broom's back, baby. Oh, yeah, they sweep away the Seattle Mariners 9-1 in Seattle today. And the Blue Jays are back to 500. They score 9 runs for the first time this year. They hit a couple home runs. And Jose Urena and Eric Lauer do a job. Keep the bullpen clean, quiet. No big names go out of the bullpen today. And you have an off day tomorrow. I mean, could it get much better than that? It really can. And this is why I say the crazy thing about baseball. As I mentioned, that 4-game stretch was pathetic. It was awful to watch. And you're like, damn, I don't know how this thing can turn around. And then they have one of the best 4-game stretches of the season as they've won 4 in a row. They've won 4 in a row. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They've scored a bunch of runs. Their pitching staff's been, I guess, not as used as much, especially after today's ball game when you're throwing out Jose Urena, Eric Lauer, Yariel Rodriguez, and Braden Fisher. Those are the 4 guys they used today. Now they have a day off tomorrow. It's a beautiful sight. Let's break this puppy down. All right. First inning. Or not, well, nothing happens at the first, but top of the second. I think it was a 2-out rally, if I'm not mistaken. Let me confirm this all for you guys. Yeah, so George Springer ground out, Kirky strikeout. So yeah, nobody on and 2 out. Nathan Lucas, hard hit single to left field for a base hit. Then Ernie Clement hits a soft line drive single to right. Lucas ends up at third base, got a good jump. First and third, 2 out for Miles Straw. And he rips one up the middle for a base hit. In comes Lucas. The Blue Jays now lead at 1-0. You got the early lead, but 1-0 can change on a dime, so I'm not getting too excited. And in the bottom half of the third inning, off of Jose Urena, Dylan Moore takes him deep, and we are tied at 1. But then in the top of the 4th inning, the Blue Jays just continue to grind, right? Starts with a George Springer pop-up, and then Kirky, my God, before he left the game with getting a backswing on the noggin, I believe it was, he didn't return, but, it was kind of a precautionary thing. At least we're all kind of hoping it was precautionary, because as much as we've loved Tyler Heineman this year, you want Kirky back, especially since he's been swinging the bat a lot better recently, because he gets this ball at 95 miles an hour up and out of the zone, and he gets on top of it and drives this thing on a line to left field, down in the corner. It's a double for Alejandro Kirk. He got a 1-out double. Then Nathan Lucas rips one to right field for a base hit. He's already got 2 hits in the ball game. Kirky had to wait for it to go through, make sure it wasn't caught on a line. He's at third, corners with only 1 out for Ernie Clement. All you need to do is get this ball in the outfield. And what does he do? Drives the ball to left field. Kirky comes in to score. Jays regain the lead. It's 2-1. Awesome stuff. We keep moving. Top of the 5th inning, right? You score the sac fly in the top of the 4th. You get the 1-2-3 bottom half of the 4th inning. You go there in the top of the 5th. And with 2 out and nobody on again, Vladdy singles to left field. Then Addison Barger's a good at-bat. He draws a walk. And George Springer comes up. And after missing a fastball in his first AB, yeah, he wasn't missing this one. 93 miles an hour from Bryce Miller down the chute. And Springer turns on this thing and drives it to left. And this thing is way gone. A 3-run shot with 2 outs for George Springer. And the Blue Jays now break this thing open. It's 5-1. And George Springer, I think, ties, was it Santander? For the team leading homers with 5. And you got a 5-1 lead. I mean, this is great. But again, Jays fans have seen this before, right? You get the 5-1 lead, and then they slowly chip away at it. And then you got to use your leverage guys again. But I think Hoffman's been using back-to-back days, so Jimmy Garcia would have to do the closing duty. So how are you going to fill those other innings? It would have looked pretty awful. But what happens in the bottom half of the fifth? You get a 0, right? 1, 2, 3. Eric Lauer strikes out the freaking side. Top of the sixth inning. Nathan Lucas walks. Ernie Clement singles. You got 2-1 and nobody out. They bring in Colin Schneider. And Miles Straw drops down a beautiful sac bunt, moving both guys up. You have runners at second and third with 1 out for the young fellow, Jonathan Clase, against his former team. And you recall how the Jays acquired Jonathan Clase was trading away Jimmy Garcia to the Mariners last year. And he drives, I think it was a breaking ball in the outer half, drives it to left center field, and it goes all the way to the wall. And it's a 2-run double for Jonathan Clase. Ernie Clement and Nathan Lucas come in to score. It is 7-1 Blue Jays. They have broken this thing wide open. The good vibes are flowing right now, but they just keep coming. Top of the seventh inning, Addison Barger almost loses his noggin on the swing, but drives the ball to right field, and it's gone. First homer of the year for Addison Barger. Have a series, young fella, in his hometown of Seattle. He's from Bellevue, but, regardless, the Seattle area. And the Jays lead it now 8-1. They keep going. And this is the great thing about what we saw today. They just keep on pushing. You're not settling, right? George Springer drills the ball to right center field. It's a double. Then Heineman gets out. But then Nathan Lucas drives one up the middle for a base hit for his third hit of the ball game. Springer comes in to score. It's 9-1 Blue Jays. And the ability for the offense to keep flowing. And also, it cannot go unnoticed. The 3-up, 3-down innings from Eric Lauer and back-to-back innings to allow them to score the first run in the fourth inning, or the second run, but to start the rallies. In that fourth inning, bottom 4, 3-up, 3-down, keep the offense flowing. Top 5, 3-up, or they hit a 3-run shot. What happens in the bottom half of the inning? 3-up, 3-down, keep the offense on the field. And they just kept going and kept scoring runs, because in the top of the seventh inning, bang, they score more runs. It was just great to see all around. Offense flowing, 7 runs for the Blue Jays, or 9 runs for the Blue Jays on 15 hits. It's great. And guess what? Vladdy and Bo combined 1 for 9 with a single and a run scored. You know what that means? Addison Barger in your 3-hole went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored, a homer and an RBI, and a walk, got on base 3 times today. George Springer 2 for 5, drove in 2 runs, had 3 RBIs and a homer. He continues to have an outstanding season. Kirky, before he left the game, went 1 for 2 with a run scored. Nathan Lucas, 3 for 3, scored 2 runs, had an RBI, walked twice. Got on base 5 times today to Nathan Lucas. He has just been so good this season. Ernie Clement has really turned it around. 3 for 4, the run scored and an RBI for him. Miles Straw, you know what? 1 for 4, but got the first run of the ball game that drove it in. So he had an RBI and that very important sacrifice bunt. So great stuff there in Jonathan Clase. 1 for 4, who cares? It was a 2-run double to break this game wide open. Great stuff all around, top to bottom. Yeah, Bo and Vlad really didn't do anything today. But 3 through 9, got it done. 15 hits for the Blue Jays, only struck out 4 times, walked 3 times, and the pitching staff. Jose Berrios went 2 innings, allowed a couple hits, a run, walked a guy, allowed the solo shot to Dylan Moore. But then Eric Lauer went 4 2/3, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 5 punch-outs. Not only did he keep the offense on the field and allow them to score a bunch of runs, throwing up the zeros, saves the bullpen. Yariel Rodriguez went an inning in the third, no base runners, couple strikeouts, and Braden Fisher went an inning, allowed a hit, but that turned into a double play, and nothing more in his big league debut. And Blue Jay fans, you know how they acquired Braden Fisher? It was in the Kevin Biggio trade last year. He's only 24 years old, a big arm, was hitting 96, 97 today. Looks like the breaking ball and the slider have a ton of movement, so we'll see what happens with him moving forward, throughout his Blue Jays tenure, whatever that may be. And you don't have to use Brendan Little. You don't have to use Mason Flaherty. You don't have to use Jimmy Garcia. You don't have to use Jeff Hoffman. And you have a day off tomorrow. It is so good to see that from this team. They desperately need it. Now, it could all go for naught with a bad 9-game stretch because they play the Rays. Regardless of the record, they're the freaking Rays. Then you have the Tigers, who are lead in the Central Division. Then you go play you have the Padres come to town, who are one of the best teams in the National League. Actually, are they the best team in the National League? Let me just confirm this. They are the best team in the National League at 25-14. So you have a 9-game stretch now. I believe they're all 3-gamers. A 9-game stretch where you got to play the Rays, the really good Tigers, And regardless of their last couple of games, they're the good Tigers, and you got the good Padres. Let's see what this team's made of. They're feeling good. They've won 4 in a row. Have the day off tomorrow to enjoy. And get back at it on Tuesday, all right? Shane Baz versus Jose Berrios is the matchup on Tuesday at 7:07. Game 2 is Ryan Pepio against Chris Bassett. And the finale is Zach Littell versus Kevin Gausman. So we'll see what happens there for the Blue Jays. Look, you find a way to win 2 or 3. This is the thing I always say. When tiebreakers aren't a thing. The Jays just swept the series, so they now have the tiebreaker over Seattle. It was so incredible. You lost the series 2 out of 3 in Toronto, but you swept them in Seattle, so you win that season series. Let's say the Jays lost today, and we won the series here, but they won the series in Seattle, or other way around. For Frank's sakes, I'm all over the place. But you guys know what I mean. If the season series was tied, it would then lead to your interdivisional record. And the Jays have been all right interdivisional so far. But now you get the Rays starting on Tuesday. These games can be, they're very important. Any divisional games are very important. And you want to look at the standings now. I know it's early in the season. But with the win, the Blue Jays are 2 games up on the Rays. Let's say you take 2 or 3. You push them to 3 games back. Hell, let's say the Jays stay red hot and get a sweep. You push them 5 behind you. Like, I know it's early, but these games can be very important. So let's see how they do. All right, so you know what, guys? That's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and the dub today, hit the like button. Do appreciate that. The subscribe button. Yes, that's already. Comment down below. Thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game for the Toronto Blue Jays? Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is down below. So follow up there if you haven't done so already. And I will talk to you guys Leafs edition tonight. Game 4, Leafs, Panthers in Sunrise. Come on, fellas. Push through, find a way, and come home looking to get a series win. Please. And for the Toronto Blue Jays, they start up a 3-game set against the Rays on Tuesday. Let me just confirm they have the day off on. No, they have the free. Yeah, right. Tuesday to Thursday. Play the Detroit on Friday. Yeah, so they start Tuesday against the Tampa Bay Rays at Rogers Center. 7:07 first pitch there. Jose Berrios, Shane Baz is the pitching matchup. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And of course, the game today, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We'll talk to you guys then.